That was almost bad. I was like, I'm going to start your live stream. And then freaking like listen to Pandora on my phone, and like the music would not go away. Like the option went away, but I couldn't see anything. Couldn't see. Well, anyways, I gotta shift you guys over for a second. 'Cause I actually have to go run and grab something real quick before we really get to doing the lives. Hey, crazy. Just want to share this on the Facebook, even though it doesn't amount to much in terms of like added people message checking out stuff. Hey, Mr. Metal. Hey, Tesla done. I just feel like it's like every time I try to live stream is when Casey decides that she doesn't want to deal with my wife anymore. Always starts yelling. Oh no. Close that. Share. Facebook feed. Cool beans. Post. Alright. Real quick. I'll be right back. I gotta go grab the Michael Myers so I can mess with that for a few. Yeah, see what I gotta do with the head. Also, why the heck are you still down here, dog? Yeah. Here. You gotta go upstairs. Did you try? I thought the okay. I'm back. Can't wait time for my yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Alright, let's flop things over. Good to go. Actually real quick. Just the camera a little bit more back. You guys don't need to see my lower regions, you know. Alright. Okay, so one thing I did do slightly off camera. Actually, I'm gonna raise you guys up a little bit and angle you down. Is I got the Naranga? Is that what this guy's name is? Tesla Dot, you got one job. What's his name? I think it's Naranga. But anyways, I swapped around the head. So it's got the right head on it. So I want to try to possibly work on sculpting this a little bit today. We got get Zilla assembled and see if there's anything. I got to mess around with that real quick. And if I get time, starting on Michael Myers. If we have enough time, anyways. Which I think I want to do the Zilla stuff first. Which the legs are hanging out up here. Where did the body go? Back here. All right. Hey, no. Also grab my glue so I can actually get this guy like permanently assembled. No. Sadly, no. To be very impressed. It usually takes a few days. Actually, as I say, I haven't gotten out the starter gate yet. When Jessica goes to work tonight, I'm going to go out and get it started. Because my only concern is, at the moment, I might have to get more resin. I thought I had some, but then after thinking about it, I probably got enough to get this print started, but I might have to, like, order a set before the other one's printing. Okay, well, anyways. Oh, that side's actually in there really well. I was gonna have to glue that in. But I guess not. Alright, so we got this. Apply some glue. Pink resin? I could make pink resin if I was rambunctious enough. You just get some white resin and dye it. Put some pigment powder in it. It's kind of like how, well, I would probably have to use more powder than I used when I initially tried the beams for the, what should we call it? The Evolved Godzilla beams. Just need to jam this in there more and get this glued in. There we go. Okay, we'll let that sit for a minute. He's like, hey, this wrist. He's a little disjointed. But one thing I did notice, which I'm going to have to fix again, is I think when I was drying, I accidentally got a fingerprint mark or something, because I lost some of the detailing, like, right there. Oh, like the Arctic Figure Zillas? Yeah, it's probably at least 10. I've probably done for friends and people in the Discord. Funny enough, I actually currently don't have one for myself. I ended up selling all. Usually when I get one made, somebody would want them. Yeah, I got a couple of people that have multiples, and then, yeah, I've done quite a few of them randomly. The tail. Let that sit for a few. Okay, so the one thing I do have to do on this Godzilla, I know for certain, is I extended out the epoxy putty around the leg here, and my thought was, is if I sand this part out here, it'll look a little cleaner when the legs, spread out. Not the easiest angle. Versus I'll be wearing pajamas right now. But I do have my Dremel hooked up, so we're gonna do some sanding. I gotta get my respirator out. Paint rub? Like what specifically? Gotta have a huge ton. Well, to be fair, I'm probably just gonna leave it the way it was on the figure. I gotta close the throat hole back here. It's gonna be next. Oh, right. Okay, gotcha. Because usually paint rub, more than likely, you probably, depending on what it is, you might have to like sand it down and then repaint. Oh, joints are just a pain in the butt in general. You're almost better off trying to just find joints close to the color that you need. Let's see. Do I got something down here I can kind of show as an example? I guess kind of like this guy. I got this dude painting out here. So, for instance, like if you're trying to apply paint to the joint right here per se, the best thing to do is you would honestly want to sand this down a little bit so that it'll still have, you don't want to do the sides because you want the friction against the plastic so that it'll actually be able to articulate. But you have to remove some of the plastic on the exposed bits so that when the forearm goes over the joint, it's not going to be rubbing on the paint there. There's not really any other better way to do it that I've had for the most part. Sometimes you could put some paint. You could do paint and then go over top of like some super glue. Solve some of my problems in certain situations. For instance, like ball joint figures, like this one. What I'll have to do here is when I paint it, I'm going to have to go over top of this with some super glue. And then I'll go over top of it with a matte clear coat. So that when the tail comes into contact with this, it's not going to be rubbing the paint off. Because the glue's hard enough that it's not going to come off. But if you try it on the joints, it'll just scrape and take the glue off with it. So it's not super effective there. So for these sections, you almost have to sand it, or there is some dyeing techniques where you can use some like clothing dye with nail polish remover. And you gotta worry because certain figures it'll greatly fudge up if you mess it up. But it'll kind of soften the plastic so the dye can absorb. It's another way to do it, but that it's a little sketchier. Like I said, it kind of depends on like what you're trying to accomplish. Because sometimes, like I said, it's just easier just to replace the joint with something that's more in that color scheme. Or you gotta do like a bunch of sanding and all this other fun jazz. And the problem is depending on where the figure's friction comes from, it could mess up the joint, make it loose. Tiny hand drilled things are like this is. I'm not as big a fan of this one. This one kind of sucks, if I'm going to be honest. So, something with a little bit more, something a little more power would be great because it's serviceable for sanding and stuff, but drilling not so much. My big battery one is awesome, but I've had it for so long that the battery really doesn't like to work. So currently I'm just trying to get Zilla fully assembled to see if there's anything I really want to add to sculpting. So I'm gonna start doing some sanding. So I'm gonna sound like Darth Vader for a minute. And no, I am not anybody's daddy. Oh yeah, for sure. The Hearth? I have no idea what that is. Is that a brand? Is that like the Walmart stuff? Oh, where's my other tub of tools? Got it around here somewhere. Hey! Okay, so I definitely got to go a little bit deeper. Oh, I don't know if you heard me. I definitely got to go a little bit deeper. Giggity. So I think we're gonna use, because the other thing I gotta worry about is I gotta try not to hit this joint. I think this one will do the trick. Oh, you talking about Fat Donnie? The Super 7? Send me the pictures of it. You know, after sending me those pictures, not as upset that I didn't buy them anymore. It don't look bad, but yeah, like you were mentioning, they are definitely chunky, to say the least. So definitely got to remove a bit more of the clay from around here. Oop, super glue's falling over. Don't want that to happen. All right, mask back on. Ugh. All right, it's attached. I need to remove a little bit more, especially around here. Good start on that one. This one? Kind of in the same boat. All right. So, X-name on that one. Oh, honestly, probably back to this guy. There you go. It's a little more flush now. I got a little bit of epoxy right here, just to kind of cover it up a little bit. But I think that'll work pretty solid. Alright, almost there. That's the best part. It flexes a little bit. Back to this guy. A little easier to. Oh, so close. It's like it attaches now. It's just about it's like soon as I gotta rotate. So I need to. Okay, that's pretty good there. Oh, I say that. Yeah, you might be right. I might have to remove a little bit off of this. Click. It could be Casey upstairs here. I kind of see my problem right now. It's right at the bulge, right? Oh, where's that piece? Hey, son of Narco. Heck yeah. All right. It's not falling off. Well, I say that. I think part of this, my problem, is I might have to actually relocate this joint. I think is what I'm gonna do. Ugh. Hold on a sec. This looks fine. This one works really good. This one I'm having fits with. And I think it's the placement of the joint because it's just too far down. If I had it a little bit higher up, I wouldn't be having nearly as many issues. Problem is, my placement. Oh, I just force the thing. That's another option. Because if it was up here, almost works. It kind of needed like a little bit more out and higher up. There we go. Not too shabby. Gonna need a stand for sure. Thank you, Crazy Glue, right? Whoa, all right. So the leg is essentially functional. It likes to pop off a little easier than I would like. Like I said, I think a lot of that just has to do with joint placement, but it seems like that's, like I said, almost functional. Because if I were to glue it like right around there, sort of gives me my best chance of success there. Other option is I could try to shift that joint out more, but then I have to pretty much at that point I have to redo a lot of this leg. Currently I have to kind of lay it in there and then plop it in. Yeah, so that might just be because this one it sticks out far enough that it's not an issue. Stays on really well. This, because it's a little bit more recessed into the leg. I could do that twist. I think is what's giving me my problem. Like I said, it works pretty well, but it's just like once you start like manhandling it, it'll pop out pretty easy. So right now, the head works really good. Base works really good. Oh yeah, I forgot I had to glue this thing in. That was I was like, man, this thing wiggles really good. And I'm like, oh, it's because it's kind of loose there. Right. Let me do that real quick. Screw. Apply quite a bit around here. Then kind of set it where I need it to, which is right around there. I'm just going to leave it alone for a couple minutes. So while I'm leaving it alone, the only other area I'm kind of contemplating because he doesn't really need too much more of a like up and down. It would be nice to have more of a side to side though. I think that's just more dremeling this part out. A lot of dremeling today. Yeah, bottle of glue's been here for a minute. I'm gonna be honest with you. All right, Vader mask back on. Oh yeah. That's more like it. Ah, that's about how we wrote that one up. Alright, cool. I'm pretty happy with that part. Sweet. Yeah, so then it'll always be like up and down. It's got a bit of wiggle. Wiggle, 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 yeah. Alright, that should be glued. Right by now. Yeah. Minus the tail not being on him currently. Blech. Oh yeah, we wiggling hard around here. Ugh. I am covered in epoxy resin dust. Trying to get a feel for where I might need you know, we got that in place. That's sitting there pretty well. I think I might just glue that in and just confirm this location because that's staying really well. So just gonna apply some glue around here. And then, oh fudge, I don't think I got my cornstarch down here, do I? Oh, where's that pile of epoxy putty? It would be so nice right now. Oh, well, it should be all right. A quick accelerant, just to get it to set really quick. I'll keep that in place. Yeah, I'd be honest. Yeah, cornstarch work. Anything that's like powdery, just to give it some body. Cornstarch, baking soda, flour. If you really want to get into it. Like one way to really build up give the glue more structure to it. Because I'll have some solid mixed in with it. Yeah, not too bad. I think I'm just going to apply a little bit of putty here just to kind of clean up this little line here. Yeah, I was just saying, there's a lot of randomly used cooking utensils, cooking things around here. I gotta close the throat hole. And honestly, if I can get this off without dislocating the body section back out. Come on. There we go. Ah! The legs fell up. Just filling this in with the putty just to hide this Goku. Hey, Ragnar reviews. Oh, I don't have any gloves. I got some gloves. I haven't been working with resin down here, so this should just be stuff I use with epoxy, or not epoxy putty. Should be aight. Oh god, it's already 8 o'clock. What the hell? How come nobody told me? Oh yeah, also, I got this stuff recently. Not sure if I'm a fan of it. Granted, one thing I noticed, I should have read the instructions because to me it seemed like the stuff when you're working on it, it would start drying really quick. But it's been day 3 and I'm still waiting for what I made to dry. And I don't think it's like this right here. I made this 2 days ago and it's still really squishy. And they're saying it should be dried in 2 days. Could be upwards of 4 if it's thick. I don't think this is that thick. Ooh, that sucks. Always sucks getting a new figure and having to repair it. It's like this like Grievous here that I just got in. Super excited about it because I've been wanting this stupid thing for the longest time. Yeah, like the stream. I appreciate it. But I got this guy in brand new out of the package. This thing's from like 2004, 3, something around there. And I got it to open up. And then as soon as I opened this bad boy, I found out his joints are broke. You'll see there, you can see where the gray is. I shouldn't be seeing gray next to this jointed section right here. And so I opened the box and the plastic came out. So I'm like, that's cool. Like I said, it's not the seller's fault because this arm, you can see right there, there's a little hairline fracture. So like neither of the arms do anything. Thankfully, it doesn't look like the actual joints broke on this. It's just got some, it's starting to break. There's another fracture there. And I think a lot of this has to do with is the pin. Get out your cape. The pins that they use in this arm, you can see, hard to figure out where I'm pointing at you guys. Right here. It's got a metal pin, and then it's got one of those like hammer push pins on the back here. And I think when they pushed that in, it broke the joint. Probably should have. But I was just like, I've been wanting this guy forever. It's just like I got it for a good deal too. My hope is some of this I could probably glue and fix. Problem is I can't really pop this out without like royally fudging this thing up. Barring just or buying a broken one, like because you could buy these missing limbs all day long, and I could probably just do that and then just keep the joints. But because this is like new in the box, this paint's not scuffed. So I'm kind of hoping I could just use my 3D print pen and just like kind of stick it in there, get the plastic fusing, and then just kind of hopefully shape it to replace the joint that was there. And hopefully that'll solve my problem once I do some little bit of gluing and touching up. All right, so anyways, we're epoxy putting, right? That's what we're doing. Hey, Aiden Zilla. It's just like every time somebody pops in and says hi, I just yell at them to like and subscribe. Just like the stream. Please, for the love of God, like the stream. We need the views. Oh. Anyways, back to doing this. I don't need a lot of putty. Oh, what the heck happened? This stuff is getting kind of hard. And it's sealed. Alright. Well, gonna make another little bowl. Kind of funny that the thumbnail was an Ultraman kaiju, and I don't know if I'm going to get around to working on it. My thought was do this for a few, and then I could work on cleaning up his sections and putting his nose on. We'll see how it goes. Do you mean the new one? The movie Maniacs? Is that what it was? Not the original movie Maniacs, but the newest one. I saw it at a Walmart and I wasn't too impressed by it, so I skipped it. Our Target currently has the Batman vs. Kong one. I kind of want it because it's actually bigger than I thought it was going to be. I was just like, I don't need it. I gotta really be a lot better about just buying random stuff that I don't need. It's bad enough about those How to Train Your Dragon things. Granted, they're actually kind of doing views, so, well, views. But people are interested in them, so I don't mind grabbing them, and then Casey plays with them, so it's like killing two birds with one stone. Right. Thankfully, I don't really gotta do really any sculpting. I just gotta hide things. So it's just shoving some epoxy putty in here. Make sure I don't get any in the joint hole, because that would be bad. I've heard Gigan, I've heard Space Godzilla, I briefly heard Biolante, but I barely, but that kind of died pretty quick. I think Gigan would be sweet. If they want to bring like aliens into it, I would avoid Space Godzilla. I feel like Space Godzilla and Destroyer are kind of like your endgame kaijus. Like, I don't know how many more of these movies they're going to want to try to pump out, but I feel like you want to save them for the end. Orga would be cool. I would love an Orga. But I wonder if like certain kaiju have like certain like copyright value. Like if it like would like getting the copyrights for Orga be cheaper than getting the copyrights for like say Space Godzilla? Because I also know it's like Toho. A lot of them too is just like what Toho is willing to like let go at the time. That's why you see like when people are like when toy companies put out new Godzilla figures, almost all of them are like this. Like all the companies kind of put out the same ones at the same time. But yes, Orga does not get nearly enough loving, so I would be down for that. I try to remove a little bit of clay. So like I said, the less clay I can have in this thing, the better, because it'll just help to keep the weight down. I just need enough to kind of help hide the Goku body. So when you're shifting it around for the joint, it doesn't look clearly like there's a piece of clothing hanging out down here. Really all I need to avoid. Just take a little bit of water so I can help kind of smear this epoxy putty around. Okay, we do need a little bit here. Honestly, I think that's about good enough right there. There's like you can see a little bit of the orange peeking through, but that's enough to where it's hidden everything. So I'm pretty okay with that. So we're gonna sit that there. Yeah, plus I can sand it down too if I really want to. So, like Pete mentioned. Oh, you mean like the Bandai model kits? There's actually a company that's making new ones that light up. Look pretty sweet. Oh god, I hate sanding. It's like my least favorite thing. I don't mind doing like this kind of sanding, but it's more like the sanding where you're trying to like clean up stuff. I get frustrated pretty easily. And I'm relatively a fairly impatient person. As you can hear me earlier complaining about the the foam putty taking way too long to cure. Even though it says it could take up to 4 days, I want it done now. So I gotta put latex on it, and that's gonna have to sit around for some time too. Okay, I gotta be careful not to get epoxy on the joint. I still want this to have the functional ball joint there. But I need to hide this little piece here. It doesn't have to be pretty. This has to hide it. But like I said, I don't want to cover the joint, so I'm trying to leave just a little bit of putty open. That looks like that'll work pretty well. So that'll still go into there. Oops, not that water. That water is gross. A little wetness, just apply. Oh, I got little silicone things. These would probably help a little bit. Also, my dog. If you hear my wife yelling over my dog in the background, she's been playing a little bit rough with Casey. She thinks she's a puppy. Well, the problem too is she's like a herding dog, so they like the nip, especially when they're running. Oh shoot, man! There's times when it's just been like 400's good enough for me. Depends what I'm doing, because I don't do too many like actual like model kits where like the paint job's really got to be smooth to get the job done. There we go. That'll work. So you'll see that. This is the back of the throat. Granted, I can't have it touch right now, but you kind of get the idea of what I'm going for. I really don't want to sand that back down. It's one of those times I need like a little chisel, just so I can just be like, scrape some of this back out. Oh, hot darn. This actually worked out pretty good. So I just need a little bit of the detail coming through. Where's my knife? So I'm not responsible putting a couple of my actual thing. Come on, man. I'm just kind of looking through my files to see if one of these would work pretty well. There we go. I got that part out. I'm gonna need to do like some light cuts to get the Godzilla skin back in, but I think that'll work all right. Yeah, we'll buy the D-Rex figure. Just haven't seen it yet. But I'm pretty sure Jessica's not gonna skip that one. Double check. This is the one I gotta add just like a little bit of putty right up here. Yeah, no, it's pretty much like what's like all the Jurassic Park figures start showing up in stores. We're just buying all of them, video purposes. So I think we're going to go a little bit harder than I did with the last movie in terms of doing the reviews, because my wife buys so many of them, and we haven't reviewed barely any of them. Which is odd, because I get asked enough about dinosaur stuff, and it's just like, should. Help get my wife a little bit more involved. Okay, yeah, now I really need that knife. I got this guy, but I really don't want to use it for its purposes. That's my foam cutting knife. Oh, there it is. I see it. It fell down in between my cups. Use the back of the knife. Redo these little cuts I just made. The back of the knife. So I'm just trying to kind of replicate the detailing that's already on the leg here. So I just kind of go different directions. And then right where it comes into contact with the old epoxy, you want to go like a little bit harder just to blend it. Try to get rid of that line of separation. Oh, I just assume Jesus, Zilla. I don't know about Hulk Godzilla. I know we've had talks about possibly doing the Venom Godzilla or Venom, the Venom, not Godzilla style Venom. No, that's what I mean. The Godzilla style Venom, not the Venom Godzilla. Venom to Godzilla. However the hell you say it. I'm so tongue tied. Marvel Kiryu, that's also been tossed out there now. Because I might actually, if I get. Problem is, I know I won't have time this weekend to work on it. Because I almost want to maybe use the Super 7 has a base, build flames on it, 3D scan that, and then make a joint to put the head onto a Kiryu. And then just make some smoke effects to go along with it. The chains you just buy just normal jewelry chain and just put some wires in it. Or I could just try to sculpt the skull by hand. Just then add flames afterwards. But I do kind of want to try that. I think it would be a solid one for the shop. Okay, well, I think that was all the sculpty bits I had to do currently. I don't think there's anything else I really need to mess with right now on Zilla. So I think now is trying to use the rest of this to clean this guy up real quick while I got some time. Fill in some of these gaps here. I might save the nose for another time, but at least get this part done. Yeah, well, do you want to do that Mecha Godzilla, or like I said, I could maybe have it set up to customize a Kiryu without actually having to mess up a Kiryu. Like it would just be at the pop Kiryu's head off and swap it out with the burning head. So I think that's my intention with it, and then just making a Just making some smoke effects and then just 3D print everything. I think Casey's tired. Casey gets tired, she just starts randomly running around the house. Back and forth. The Venom I would need parts, but the mecha, I think I could possibly make something to work. It's funny enough, I had somebody on the Etsy mention one too. Okay, well, like I said, either way, it doesn't really matter to me. Because if we did the other one, I could make the chains and make everything permanent. Well, I actually don't know how I would go about the chains on the Monster Arts one. Like, it'd be the same process, but I don't know how I would make them to where they're not removable. Outside of maybe making little holes in the smoke effects so that you could insert the chains into them with wires. Oh, that probably helped you guys see what I found. You guys can see a little bit of my pajamas. Midsummer console. I don't even know what that would be. The only thing I remember from the movie is the tree with the faces. God. Aren't they reissuing Meltdown? So, well, we're reissuing? I don't know with the whole COVID thing if they're still doing it, but I thought there was something about they were releasing that one. Okay, I kind of sealed up the 2 spots that were going to be gaps. Take some wetness. Go around the cutout section here. Probably just going to blend this into the head a little bit. I'll be honest, probably your best bet. I was like, Casey's bringing stuff out again. Casey also likes to go into her bedroom and bring out like all of her pillows and what have you. Yeah, this is kind of in the same boat of the Godzilla, where it's just drawing random lines. Actually, let me use this guy. That's gonna be too thick. Just trying to make light scratches, just so it makes the camera. Just trying to match the detailing. Give it spawn eyes. Trying to make sure I don't really miss any spots that are too obvious. Actually, now I look at it, I might. Right at the section here, I think I need it a little bit more raised. I like that. So that hides the top of his head where we cut off everything. And once it's painted, should be pretty good. And we'll work on getting the nose on. Well, I hope it helps. Try to be, like I said, they're not really like true how-to videos. As far as like people can ask questions and you can just kind of watch me do the process. Like I said, they're sort of how-tos. But I think we're calling good there. I wanted to work on Michael a little bit today, but there's no point in really getting really into it in the next. That was about 14 minutes. I'm gonna probably have to get off anyways. Look at it growing on you. As do fat people. Let me tell you what. Being a slightly overweight person, I can also concur that I do grow on people as well. That's why you should like and subscribe. I need a drink. But anyways, you guys are going to see my ugly mug for just a minute. Pause. Critter update time. As you can see, he's currently not missing feet. He's missing feet because because when I was working on him, I didn't really like the way the arms were coming out after trying to lay some epoxy on it. Now, they weren't looking quite critter-like. So that's what I did here is I used some of that sculpting foam and just went even harder. Just made the full legs. And my hope is when I put the latex over the legs, it'll kind of fill in some of the gaps and then it'll make it more seamless, is my hope. Right. And then wherever the heck the hands went, the hands were the big one. The feet I didn't mind as much, but the hands I really wanted to adjust. Up there. So these are the new hands. I made one a little bit more action posy, the other one fairly stagnant. Like I said, probably stuff's just taking forever to freaking cure. But my hope is when they also got rod in them, so I can kind of flex it if I need to. But I'm hoping when I put some latex over it, it'll fill in, like I said, some of the gaps and kind of smooth it out a little bit. And then I'll be replacing the arms on this guy with these. Oh, fashioning these turtles. Boo. But one thing I did get done is all his teeth are in. Because the one thing I really want to finish doing the fur on this thing so bad, but I got to get the arms done in sets, and then I can add all the fur. But, like I mentioned, it's hard. You don't really see it here, but there is a hole here. Then I can show you guys I did all the teeth in there. So he has 3 rows on the top, 2 rows on the bottom, and then because he's a second movie critter, he also has a ton. And then also talk. Bitchin'. I wish I could get the mouth a little bit more open. It's about as far as I can get right now. Good enough. It gets the job done. He could look like he's biting. He's already accosted my daughter a couple of times. She thinks he's funny. But I got to clean up some of the hair to clean up that's kind of stuck to the latex a little bit. Do some hairspray. And then it's pretty much doing the fur all along here in his stomach is what I got to slap on. Which I do have actually different fur for that part. Gobbler from the 80s. He is from, well, actually, it's Critters 2 from the 80s. I'm trying to remember. I know Critters 1's 80s. Because Critters 1, if you ever watched the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, this guy's poster shows up in it. Well, like I said, this one's specifically Critters 2, though. $1988. That's what it was. Oh, the toy. I'll be honest. I don't actually know what that one is. Gobbler doesn't ring a bell to me. But yeah. So far, I've actually been really happy with the way this guy turned out. If anything, if I do the next one I make, I might have to find some bigger. I gotta find some bigger fur for the top of his head. Because the stuff that came in, this is the one for his tummy. Because the tummy is a bit of a lighter gray. Oh, you know what? That might actually, never mind. That might work. Like I would like it to be a little bit bigger. But it'd probably be serviceable. But this is the fur for its stomach, because you can see it's a slightly different shade of gray. And the way the light hits it, it kind of brightens up into a brighter gray. So this is for his tum-tum. Like his tummy under his chin. And like I said, I'll probably add a little bit more fur around here just to hide the seams a little bit. And then it'll just be filling the gap here with a little bit more of this fur and around his arms. And then he's going to be a lighter gray on the front section here. That is something I was thinking about doing, is making him a wig. So I can convert him. Although, now that we talk about this, because I was thinking about doing that, so I should have actually thought about this a little harder. I probably should have put a magnet in here. So I could have put a magnet on the toupee, so it could have just stuck. Would have been good. I still gotta figure out what the heck I'm doing with this guy outside of... For Halloween, I was thinking about making it look like there's a spaceship crashed in my yard, and then he could be at the back door with like a bowl of candy kids could grab the things out of. And he'd just be like, bitchin' to like every little child that comes up to the door. Yeah. Nobody will get the reference. Outside of maybe people my age. Possibly Halloween camping. You might go walk around Halloween camping. That or drive around my back seat hooked to the Casey's car seat when she's not here. There was at least somebody in the car seat. I also gotta possibly get some more latex just so I can paint this stupid thing. Why can't I have him cussing around the children? It's like PG now. I'm just saying the language. Because he doesn't say bitchin' in the movie. He says like, oh, it's like translates the bitchin'. Well, because I want to put some on the porch. I was just redoing my steps outside. I was like, it'd be funny to have them like underneath the steps looking out. But per city code, I can't have it set up to be able to do that, which hurts my feelings. So, more than likely, I'll probably end up just putting like some on the steps. Maybe it look like they ate somebody. But like I said, I don't know if I'm going to do too many like this where they're going to be like full puppets and be able to do stuff. Yeah, like the peachy person. Yeah, like he doesn't fully swear; it's subtitled. Because latex-wise, the only thing, like I said, I got to do is go over the hands, which I still have to wait for the stuff to dry, which will hopefully be tomorrow. Right around his eye here, I missed a little section, so you can still see a little bit of the fabric there. So I gotta clean that up. And then, yeah, like I said, it's fur, and he's pretty much done. Then it's just painting. Granted, actually, now I think about it, I might have to paint him before I do the fur. It depends on how hard I'm going to do the fur. Because in the movie, to me, it looks like you do the fur and you can't really see the stomach. So I might be able to get away with just painting it. But more than likely, I might have to actually paint it. Like, once I get everything set up, I can paint them, finish the fur, and then we got fun times of videos. Like called Critter video. He's already been like affectionately named Steve Critter by some people working on. So we have something in common. Maybe we go back to doing anime reviews or something. It could be Little Critter could do it. Then we get copyright claimed by New Line Cinemas. I don't know who the critter owner is. But anyways, like I mentioned, we're gonna call this good here. So hopefully in the next couple of days I'll be able to we'll maybe do a stream working on this guy some more. I'm hoping I get to have enough latex paint to paint it. because I'm going to have to mix some latex with some acrylic paints. Because I need a few colors. We're going to need, what, black, grays, and a couple shades of red. Thankfully, the teeth are plastic, so I can just paint the teeth. Teeth and the nails are all plastic. But I gotta wait for the stupid stuff to harden so I can hook it back to the body so then I can do the latex. Tough life we live. But anyways, you can help us defeat those kaijus by hitting the like button, subscribe, become a ranger today. We also got Instagram, Patreon, TikTok, Facebook. Guys, I'll keep up the day with channel donate. Greatly would appreciate it. If you guys like to pick up some custom stuff for yourself, best way to support me is through the Etsy that way. We do custom beams. If I can grab some. There's ones like this, which is the -1 beam that I make for the Monster Arts figures. Also sort of works with the Super 7. As you can see here, the one I gotta go actually... when I go to 3D print your stuff, I gotta clear coat him. But also works for the Super 7. If you need a beam. But we do quite a few varieties of beams on there. There's like a beam for Gigan. There's the new Evolved Godzilla beams. See you, not so you. There's also like a custom Godzilla bust I made a while back that's hanging out on there. It's quite a few things. If you want to go check it out. Also a good way to get a hold of me for commissions. Also, my personal Instagram is also great for commissions too. I think that should be in the description. If I'm not mistaken. Also, if you guys like to pick up some of your high-end Godzilla figures for yourself, because I found out because Diamond Select's going out of business, they're the ones that distribute Hyatt to a lot of the places stateside. So all the new Hyatt stuff for stateside companies is delayed until at least the end of summer. So, like, I just got my Shimo. If you have Shimo on like Big Bad or Entertainment Earth, probably not seen it for a while. So if you guys like to get it, definitely make sure to check out CowKidsToys.com. You save 6% off your order. Code SteveCowKids at checkout. They can ship it to you. They'll get it to you. They currently have Shimos in stock. They have the 91 Ghidorah. 91 Godzilla, I heard that they're waiting on putting out because they're waiting for the good heads to show up. So I would hold off, at least on that one. And then whenever the Evolved Godzilla hits here in the near future, they'll have that here too. Another great way to support the channel. Make sure you follow the link though, just so they know that you came from us. Anyways, I'll see you guys next one.